Paula, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much.
We've been having some really lovely conversations with women who work for the church locally, and I love hearing about people's personal stories that have brought them to this point. And you are an immigrant here to the United States. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about your story and your background.
I am from Colombia. I am a LaSallian. I graduate in business, and I have an emphasis in organizational communication. Mm-hmm. And always I have been touched in service. And but my first experience with faith and service was with my father. Mm. He was always an active member of his church. And he, even though he was Protestant at the end of his years, he was always thinking about the fact that you have to find the truth and the purpose of you being here as serving others. And I fulfilled that in a Catholic university. I was serving in different projects in mission, in urban mission in the city, in the poor areas of the city. And I was always in villages in my country, in Colombia. And I was very touched for those experiences. By the people, I was very touched in a sense that you feel that you're not just passing your life getting credits and success and titles or money. You have to fulfill your mission on this planet, helping others, and that's how you build a real legacy.
And you have brought that through quite an extensive experience in the business world and now in ministry. And what was it like to be able to kind of live that in corporate America, and how's that transition been to in professional ministry?
There's always a connection with philanthropy. Mm-hmm. There's always a purpose in the corporate America to help those in need. And that is okay. And I believe in that. However, sometimes you need an extra component that is compassion. You need an extra component as far as faith, that is really believing in a community and the people of God serving a purpose. Those who have the means, those who have the knowledge, have to serve those in need to grow. And for me, that growth comes from the faith.
Do you find that when you were working in business and now that your femininity or you embracing your womanhood, do you think that helps you when it comes to having that compassion and bringing God's love and nurturing communities?
That is a very tricky question. Because I think I have a very, how can we say that? I have two shades of my position. I have a position where I am project manager for certain things, but I'm also part of the face that the archdiocese gives to the community. Mm-hmm. And sometimes switch that is a challenge, but there's always a time to give a hug. A lot of people come to our doors with the limitation of speaking clearly what they need, mm-hmm. and the hardships they are having and facing at the moment. And sometimes I feel like for a split second, you almost forget about it, but you have to, again, put both feet on the ground and look up and understand that your purpose here is to serve the real feel of being a person in need. And you have to let that happen. You have to be strong for a position, but you have to let that community sense touch you. And sometimes you're limited to really solve every problem, but sometimes listening, mm-hmm. and giving a hug. That has touched me profoundly. Like I really feel that sometimes that is our work as missionaries of the people of God.
Yeah.
So that obviously embraces my sensitive side.
Sure.
My motherly part, let's say
Yes.
that, because you become like that person that helps, and it's not about you being the helper. It's about seeing those in need succeed or move forward.
And how has working with the church and professionally in ministry, has it impacted your faith life and how you act on your faith with your family and your son?
With my son, yes.
Yes.
He loves to say, "My mom was in the archdiocese." Like he feels it's
My kids
something
too. My kids love it.
Yes, it's a very sometimes tricky word, but he loves it, and has touched my personal way to see the social work in a different way. I am more introspective now of how can I do better for a lot of women I see. And it's putting a seed in the back of my head on how can we serve better, and how can we, with the projects we do, like the health fairs, like with the school kit giveaways, like with the formation for teenage girls, with a lot of events, with the gala. Every project for me has a sense of responsibility to give a good experience for people, to see those who don't have voice, to hear and to see those who are in need. And that is, I think, my purpose as a Christian, because we have the privilege to be where a lot of people cannot be. And we have to be the voice for those who cannot be heard.
That's right.
And I think that is my purpose when I try to expedite and when I try to deliver quality in what we do. It's not because it's me. It's not because it's my staple. No, we are representing a bigger purpose behind us, that is the Catholic Church, and a lot of people are not aware of that.
And Archbishop Amen, you've heard him say when we've had staff gatherings that we are called to be the face and the hands and the feet of Christ. And it's so, when you think about work, whether you're sitting at a desk planning an event or writing a press release for me, or it is more than a job. It is representing your faith and your church. And I love your idea of it being just something bigger than you, because we were able to take our gifts and talents that are gifts from God and put them to work for Him, to serve others and to bring others closer to Him.
Yes. And sometimes in corporate America, you're aware of that, but you're just serving like a different purpose, and the social part could be just left out in philanthropy or just to let's have some funds for something, But here is just a more, let's say it like that, holistic view of the service.
Yeah.
You work because obviously you have a career and you have to earn a salary because you have to pay bills. However, the vision of what we do as women out there and our positions is just to give that extra sensibility to what we do, and extra detail and extra energy. I don't know. I feel like we have a different way to approach problems, and I definitely feel like deliver. I don't know. I'm not bragging, but I like when people, those in need, feel your effort and they say thank you. I'm not expecting a thank you, but when somebody sheds a tear and says, I feel relief, or thank you for your help, or you've done amazing, or I feel like you're working for us in a way that nobody else does. And it's just because we listen.
Yeah.
And that's what I like.
I agree. I think it's wonderful when we're able to actually help. And my son, my 3-year-old, just in a little way, with everything going on, I said, well, one day he just threw his arms around me and said, Mommy, thank you for everything. Thank you for doing everything for me. And in, you know, it's just, you think about it, and yes, you do. You go throughout the day, and I'm not expecting my children, but my little 3-year-old, you know, and I'm like, that's God. And so when everybody tells you thank you, it's God just affirming your service to Him. So,
and that we're doing things properly, I think, to say it in a way. Like, if we think a project with a purpose and we make sure we're serving the right population, if we make sure people are receiving an extra word of what we do, and that in our case, because we are a remote operation, extract from the archdiocese in a way, physically, people maybe are not aware all the time that we represent the Catholic Church.
sure.
So if you can come because you're hungry and you need a bag of food, that is fine. But that is the split second you have to expose that is the work of the Catholic Church in the community, and people are not aware of that. So that is very important for me also to show them that regardless all the situations that we heard and everything, we're still there for a purpose. That at least me, I make sure that they understand that I love what I do. And that's what I love in my job. I love definitely help someone in a distress situation. I mean, we heard a ton of stories every day, and sometimes I feel like I'm a bag of water about to burst. Sometimes I have these waves of crying, even opening a new jar of mayonnaise. But but it's because I think that we should be allowed to do that. We should be allowed to go beyond our careers as female professionals and preserve that vulnerability, that sensibility. That's why we're female.
That's right.
We don't need to compete at that point with the male-dominated, let's say, industry, in any industry. Because that is precisely what makes us different.
That's right. And we bring those gifts and that authentic femininity into our decision makings and our action.
Exactly.
And like you said, the way we approach problems or challenges, it's just different.
It's a different way because maybe we're more sensitive, whether we really react and work immediately or whether we pause and we think it through. But I don't feel that we have to try to act like, like males. I mean, we are vulnerable, and sometimes I can sit down and I have a ton of things to do on my desk and pending on my emails, but I have someone in front, and I just have to be aware, have all that mindfulness of listening and understanding that someone is coming to my office because a lot of times they have closed the doors everywhere else. So this is not the path of get results, get production done. Sometimes I have days where I have just 1 or 2 cases coming to my office, and I just feel obligated to fulfill needs, at the extent of what I can do.
Right.
At least give them a warm handoff to another service.
Sure.
But a lot of people come nowadays, hopeless, helpless, in distress, in need. And the fact that we want to be achievers or overachievers, that's a new word, maybe makes us feel like cold and hermetic because we need results first. And those lives that you touch, those are invisible results.
But those are the most important results.
Exactly.
And that's what God sees.
Exactly.
Well, Paula, I want to thank you for being able to be that warm voice and that warm hug and that listening ear, and really being that voice of God for the people who come to your office, and for witnessing to them His love and His compassion and embracing your femininity. So thank you for sitting down with me today and for everything that you do.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much.